Good night, St. Martin, and welcome to your favorite online program, www.sxmtalk.com. Of course, I'm your host, Christopher Emmanuel. Let me welcome each and every one of you guys to another very interesting show. I'm happy that you're here with us. Call a friend, call someone, tell them to log on now, because St. Martin Talk is on. And again, good night, good morning, good evening to everyone listening all over the place. And again, thanks for all the emails, messengers that have been coming through from everyone about the program. And I want to get right into the program because I'm a bit testy. All right. I'm trying to find. Let me fix my hat. I'm trying to find decent words to explain this article that I have here in front of me. Right. But I'm going to sum it up easy, and I'm going to say that the campaign has started and election is already in the air. Now, this is a newspaper from today, Wednesday, January the 23rd, the Daily Herald, 2013. Islands up concerned about job loss, wages, cuts in wholesale sector. Now, I wouldn't mind. I really don't mind, because as an opposition, they're doing what they're supposed to do. So I don't mind if Sylvia Myers is concerned about job losses. I don't mind if Yanchi Leonard is concerned about job losses. I even don't mind if Gracita is concerned about job losses. I have no problem with that. But Jules James got the audacity. The man got the balls. The man got he really concerned. Listen, Jules James, you should be the last person here in St. Martin to be concerned about people possibly losing jobs, because you have the job loss of 187 people on your hands, on your charges. And you're concerned about, because, and listen now, Pelican workers lost their jobs because Jules James make them lose their jobs. He still works at Pelican. All right? But listen to it. I'm going to read a whole article. The United People's Party is concerned that possible job loss or wage cuts may incur in the wholesale sector due to government's planned increase in turnover tax on alcohol and tobacco products as a measure to balance the budget. The draft 2013 budget. Government hopes to generate some 15 to 20 million guilders by the tax increase to help with the budget, as well as another 7.5 million in casino fees on table games and slot machines. It is clear that the finance minister to it is experiencing difficulty with presenting a balanced budget, up Member of Parliament Jules James said on Tuesday. I can recall back in early December, Minister Tuitt told the people that he closed the budget deficit of 29 million guilders by increasing tax compliance that is expected to bring approximately 20 million guilders, James pointed out on behalf of his party. The Committee for Financial Supervision, CFT, in its preliminary advice in December had concerns about how the 20 million guilder would be raised. Later in December, Tuitt had said the wholesalers had drafted a report for him on the implementation and the documentation of the turnover tax increase. Given all the circumstances surrounding the attempts to balance the budget and the impact the increase in taxes may have on wholesale sector, UP wants TUIT to provide clarity on whether or not jobs are at stake or if wages will be affected. UP faction also wants a copy of the assumption used by TUIT to come up with the figures and a copy of the wholesalers report to see if that report points to any consequences for the people. TUIT had also stated that while government is increasing revenues, it also decreasing expenditures by 10% on material costs. This is rather interesting because the 2012 budget was 432.5 million guilders and the budget is the budget is 476 million guilders, or over 43 million guilders more, James said. Let me finish reading and then I'll comment. The minister in the past used the term voodoo economics. So my question to the minister is for him to explain how he claimed to reduce the budget by 10%, while in essence the budget has been increased by at least 10%, James said. And you see, again, St. Martin, I don't want to insult no one or make it sound as if people don't understand. No. These are the things that us talk about when you have members of parliament that come in sittings and figure only they are smart. Only they know. Listen to what TUIT said. Right? TUIT also stated that while government is increasing revenues, it is also decreasing expenditures by 10% on material cost. I don't understand how Jules James want to say how on one hand you can see a decrease in the budget, right? But the budget gone up by 43 million. You're not listening, Jules James. You're not reading. It is simple mathematics. Okay? He is reducing expenditures. So what they are paying out as a country, buildings that they are renting, materials that they're using, they are cutting back on it. They are saving on it. So if they are saving, of course the budget going to increase. If you were spending 20 million guilders on rent, on material, that's what you was putting out, you was giving out. It was going out of the budget. But now you cut that by half, so now you're saving 10. The 10 that you have in surplus, where is it going to go? It's going to add to the budget, because now you're spending 20 no more. You're spending 10, so you're saving 10 million. Come on. So, if your budget is 420, and now you manage to save 10 million, you're going to add that 10 million to the 420, that brings it to 430, Jules James. Simple mathematics. How is it that you can't understand? And you're going to put in a newspaper. The minister in the past used the term voodoo economics. So my question to the minister is for him to explain how his claim to reduce the budget by 10%, while in essence the budget has been increased by at least 10%. Jeez and peace. I want to believe that is a newspaper that made a mistake, because it is clear. Expenditures on material. That's why it say expenditures by 10% on material cost. Listen, if I have it wrong, please somebody correct me. I'm not an economist. Please, somebody send me an email. It's up. And say, Chris, you have it wrong. Because I don't understand. I don't understand. If you manage to save, you ain't spending 20 million no more on rent. You ain't spending that amount no more on material. You save by, you remember when they came up and they saved about half on insuring the cars, insurance, everything? Because your party, Mr. Jules James, the UP, with Tia Heiliger as the leader, was giving the insurance, just giving it to what the insurance is. So of course they couldn't be saving. How come you ain't talking about that? But now they put it on a bid. This government put it on a bid. So they managed to save millions. How come you ain't talking about it? You have the audacity to talk about job losses and turnover tax. They are raising the turnover tax on alcohol and cigarettes. When the UP party got into government, they raised the turnover tax by 3% across the board on everything. I didn't hear your concerns about that. I didn't hear your job losses about that. I didn't hear you mention nothing about that. But now that they raised it on alcohol and tobacco, you worried about job losses or wage cuts only on wholesale? So wholesalers on this island only sell alcohol and tobacco? Come on. People, this is what us talk about. He is worried. Here we say, up concern about job loss, wages cuts in wholesale sector. How come the UP is not concerned about 187 job losses from Pelican? How come? Huh? These people, the UP, these people, and yes, I get an email from someone saying, why are I always picking on Theo? I always picking on Theo because Theo is bad for St. Martin. That's why I'm always picking on him. Because of these, the UP gets their instructions from him. From him. They raise the turnover tax by 3% across the board on everything. But nobody was concerned about that. Nobody is concerned about that. Nobody is concerned about job losses in the grocery stores, job losses at Telem, job losses at cable TV, job losses at the insurance companies, job losses in the hotels. Nobody concerned about that. But the UP is concerned about job losses and wage cuts in the wholesale sector. Huh? Seriously? That's what they're concerned about? Because they're raising the turnover tax on cigarette and alcohol? Are you serious? Jules James got the audacity to talk about voodoo economics? If you're saving on expenditures and on material, the money that you're saving there, wouldn't it roll over into the new budget? Wouldn't it add to the budget? So by adding it to the budget, wouldn't the budget increase? I mean, come on. And these are the people that are calling themselves parliamentarians. Yeah. This is why I am saying you need to get rid of them. Get rid of these people. Read the article. It is shocking. Jules James, you have to answer for the job losses, the mortgage payments, the loan payments, the house rent, the bank savings, the student scholarships from those 187 people that are losing their cars and can't make their payment, that are being put out because they can't make their rent, their mortgages. You have to, and how come you're not worried about those cuts? How come you're not worried about those losses? Come on, man. And these are the people who are going to come next year, 2014, and telling you, vote for me because I's for the people. How are you going to answer that charge, Jules James? And the UP is concerned. Gracita, you concerned? You don't concern about nothing but yourself. All of a sudden now you're donating books to the library with clippings and all kind of, yeah. And you're talking about your concern? That's why I just tear down. I just bring it here so I can see the garbage that they are talking about. The crap, the nonsense. We need to get the budget balanced, else the CFT would not give a good recording. So listen here. Smoking and drinking is a luxury. It's not as if we're doing harm to anyone. You want to buy cigarettes, you want to buy alcohol, you're going to pay a tax on it. What is so wrong with that? Why would wholesalers now say, boy, we have to cut your jobs and cut your this? No other company on the island cut no jobs except Pelican when the up raised their turnover tax by 3%. And now you have the audacity to come and talk about your concern, the up concern about, it's a lie. They ain't concerned about nothing. They want this report and that report to see the consequences. They ain't want no report. They're not going to read nothing. All they're doing is talking. Because they can talk, they're in opposition, they got their big fat salaries, and that's all they're concerned about. But the person now who's walking the street who's selling sandwiches, as resilient as they are to find another occupation, you are the one responsible, Jules James, that they're out of a work. You're the one responsible. Those are the things you should talk about. Okay? Those are the things to talk about. I'll tell you one person from the up who I'm agreeing with right now is Ruth Douglas. Open door policy on prostitution is dangerous. I agree with her 100%. She said Duncan has a nonchalant attitude about the issue of prostitution, which is no surprise. If it is legal, then he does not have to arrest anyone. It is not his concern if an island-wide epidemic of STDs and STIs, okay, erupts. He will not have the headache the medical professionals will have. The laws, she noted, can and should have amendments with provisions for standardized testing with each and every licensed sex professional must comply. Now, Member of Parliament Ruth Douglas, I agree with you 100%. I think you're right on the button. I think what you're saying here is correct. But again, the laws need to be amended. The laws need amendments, for crying out loud. Ruth Douglas, you're a legislator. That's what you are. You're a legislator. You have the power to bring legislation to Parliament. That's your duty. That's your job. That's what you're there for. So don't come here and tell us what you think the law should and should not be. Why it should happen. Work on it. Get it done. Work. Do what you're being paid for. Okay? Okay. Do you really know what you're being paid for? Huh? Stop listening to Theo with your BB message when I in a meeting and he's sending out your nonsense. Get the job done. I agree with you. I think the minister's out of order. Okay? He seemed to have a love affair with the Dominican Republic and prostitution, and he seemed to be crazy. I don't know why he don't move to that country then. Okay? Legalize prostitution, this, that, that. But these are the same people, all of them sitting down, the National Day of prayer. God, thank you for our blessings, and we're praying that you spare us, and oh God, and the holy this, and the Bible, and the minister, and all of them, but we're legalizing prostitution. Huh? So one way, yes, God, you're good, but join me in the club here, Jesus. Come, let's go talk some business here in the club. That's why the country is in the situation that they're in, because it's a mockery. It's a mockery. And you should see all of them sitting down. National Day of Prayer, and then their suits, and you know, all of them there in the National Day of Prayer. All of a sudden we are all religious, studious, everything else. But now we want to legalize prostitution. It's sickening how they contradict themselves, the hypocritical nature. Hypocrites they are. So, yes, Jules James, you are concerned, and the up are concerned about the wrong things. Ruth Douglas, you're right. I agree with you. Okay? I agree with you. The minister's out of order. But you have the power to bring legislation and tell the minister, no, I don't think so. No. We are not passing no law here to legalize prostitution. No. I'm trying to figure out if we are living in a Christian, well, I don't even know what to call it. I don't know what to call it. You see? I have been looking at something, and every time I open the newspaper, something new, right, that struck me. And I was going through the papers for the last couple of days. Listen to what is here on the paper. I don't know. Let me show it to you guys. Right? It is right down here. This here. Almost every page you turn to, you'll see something like that. Okay, you guys can't see it good? Let me read it. Reverend Mother, God's messenger who guarantees to heal the sick and the suffering. This God-gifted woman has helped thousands of people a more successful life through the power of prayer. She will call your enemies by name and tell you who to keep away from. She will show you the face of your enemies. This woman has developed her life as God's helper to remove all sickness, suffering, and bad luck from you and your loved ones. What your eyes see, your heart will believe. Don't delay. Call today. Help restore your lost nature. Reverend Mother. Now, you know, we could turn the page again. Okay. Healing spiritual spiritualist, Brother Yuhugu, clairvoyant, sees the future, helps you restore love life, bring wishes for. Wait a minute. What kind of madness going on in this place? I don't get to understand. Let me tell you something, people. Let me tell you something. You don't need no healing mother and reverend this and spiritual reverend and clairvoyant muhugu and brother this one. All you got to do is know thyself. That's it. No wonder the country is in the way it is, because we believing in all kind of rubbish, all kind of garbage. We believing in almost every page you are looking for the page where you have them, man. I was looking at them and then it's like 4 or 5 of them clog up in one corner. I'm saying to myself, they hear something about St. Martin. The healing this and the healing that, and that's why. Yeah, look at here. Right? I know what I was talking about. Let me fold the newspaper. And this is the today, the Wednesday newspaper. Right? Look them down here. You got here? Madame Monalise, extremely powerful. Miss Yoko, psychic tarot card reader. Mr. Elijah, clairvoyant medium. Mr. Amadou. Listen. Listen to me, people. Listen to me. Let me read what Madame Monalise. Let me read what she's extremely powerful. Indian love spell specialist. Lovers return in minutes. Spells to remove bad luck. Guaranteed results. Mrs. Yoko, psychic tarot card reader. Removes bad luck. Reunites lovers. Spiritual cleansing. Powerful results in hours. So one is telling you return lovers in minutes. The other one telling you powerful results in hours. Now let me read this one. Mr. Elijah, voyant medium. As you're unsatisfied, or you unsatisfied and desperate, Succeed when others have failed. Resolve all your problems. Specialist in return of affection. Permanent love. Faithfulness. Happiness in couples. Sexual power. Health. Luck in games, etc., etc. Don't worry. Nor be disappointed. Call now. I can also come to you. Results 100% guaranteed. But goodness gracious. But then the whole world will be standing up by this fella and giving the next lottery numbers. Let me read the next one. Mr. Amadou, well-known spiritual healer from birth, can solve all your problems. Specialist in occult work. Return that loved person. Couple problems. Everlasting love. Exorcism. Luck. Protection. Trade and business. Unknown disease and sexual power. Efficient and reliable work. 100% result. Guaranteed in 3 days. So now, you had one telling you in minutes. You had one telling you in hours. Now this one telling you in 3 days. St. Martin people, stop believing in a bunch of monkey stupidness. Stop it. Guaranteed in 3 days. An appointment every day. This is the reason why. This is the reason why a lot of us are in the situation that we're in. Because we put our faith and our trust in a bunch of garbage. That's why. And that's what this is. Okay? This is a bunch of stupidness. It's monkey crap. Stop it. These people are only advertising and doing well because we're going to them. Because you're going to them. You got to know you. You seriously got to know you. Okay? And I mean, I tell you, I was reading the paper today and I said to myself, well, wait a minute. Every time you open the page, it is some new zombie person telling you that they could bring all of this for you. So I'm saying to myself, if they can bring all of this for you, why they can't bring it for themselves? Why they can't bring it for themselves? When are you going? Are you do these kind of monkey stupidness? You're putting all kind of zombie nonsense on your children and this, and you don't even know what you're doing. Stay away from this garbage. Oh man, I can't believe. But I tell you this, it freaked me out. Reverend Mother. It really freaked me out. It had me confused because this is what we're concerned about. This is what we want to know about. But the country in the situation that it's in, food prices going up, this going up, we ain't concerned about that. Man, come on, man. Right? Now, I want to get in this issue. As much as I have a serious issue with Duncan, right? I think he's a minister that gone whack. I think he gone crazy, right? With his projects, and you really can't understand his projects. And when you start to question the project and say, you know, it doesn't add up, all of a sudden he's on the defensive and it's this and it's that and all kind of craziness. Duncan won't react on VKS. Minister of Justice Roland Duncan says he will not respond to a VKS officer running his mouth. Reports reaching the Daily Herald stated that some voluntary corps VKS officers have refused to go back on the road as traffic officers to aid in the flow of traffic during peak hours until Minister Duncan has signed a special ordinance authorizing them to do so. Duncan said he has not received any formal complaint from the VKS. The VKS assists police in functioning. Duncan told this newspaper, it is already in the law, so no extra order is needed. When asked by the newspaper, VKS Commander Jean-Elige said he had no knowledge of the situation. Now, these are the things that I talk about why St. Martin is the way it is, the rule and the role of command. Where and who does the buck stops? Because they're not there anymore helping us out with the traffic. They're not there anymore. Traffic is backed up, it's long now because, and you refuse to walk because you telling the minister he must sign to tell you to do it. Who's your boss? Who's your boss? Huh? Who are you working for? Jean-Elige have no knowledge of it. How in the world you, Mr. Jean-Elige, can't have no knowledge of it, but they're not out doing their job. They're not out controlling traffic no more. So how you cannot have knowledge of it? But every morning you drive down there, they in there. For the past 2 weeks, they're not there anymore, conducting and helping out with the traffic. How you can have no knowledge of it? And Minister Duncan, you was a minister. How you can have them not working? Because they ain't sent them in there on strike. Oh, they still get them paid? What's the real issue? I mean, again, whenever it comes to the people of St. Martin receiving just service from government, from these, I mean, this is what you get. We get a kick in our royal. We get sloppy, nasty work. This is what we get. The police came to me last night. The police came at me last night. I was listening to the online program. I was inside my office. I was inside the gym. And I had my car parked in my yard. And I had the volume up loud so I could hear the program. The police came and told me that there's a complaint saying that I disturbing the peace, playing loud music. So I told the officer, I said, but officer, you can clearly hear it's not music, it's a radio program. He said, oh yeah, someone called and told them that, you know, there's loud music. I, you know, very respectful. And they was also respectful too. I mean, one of them was barging in the yard, started to say hello, hello, you know, and then he stopped and he came back and explained to me the situation and stuff, right? And I mean, it wasn't a real issue and stuff. I was starting to get a bit annoyed because I'm saying to myself, I'm in my yard. I'm on my property. But apparently, the radio was too loud. It was maybe after 10 o'clock. I was listening to the program, so it was too loud. And they told me that, you know, just turn it down. And I said, you know what? Okay, all right, fine. I went and turned it down. And I said to myself, I don't really have to turn it down, you know. But I want to know. So I'm asking all the law experts out there. Right? I'm asking all the law experts out there that know. Would I have been in my wrong? Would I have been wrong if I didn't turn down the radio? If the officer said, look, listen, we got a complaint that you're playing loud music, so they come in to check. When they came, it was a radio, it was a talk show that was on, it wasn't no music. And yes, I had a volume up so I could hear it where I was. But I am saying I'm in my yard, I'm on my property. Okay, so I want to know, I don't know, I really want to know if I would have been wrong if I told the officer, no, I'm not turning the music, I'm not turning my radio down because I'm on my property listening to my radio. And then he said, yeah, but there's neighbors around and, you know, it's loud. So I want to know, really, if I'm in my house, on my property, with the music loud or a radio on loud listening to a program, if I would be wrong, I don't know, if I would be wrong if I had refused to turn down the radio. That's what I want to know. So anyone can send me an email, they can hook us up on the chat box and let us know. So we're going to end it off there tonight. St. Martin, thank you again for listening. But send me that because I really want to know if I would have been wrong. And like I said, there wasn't a big deal, well respected. They came, they was respectful. I answered, I went, I turned it on. I said, okay, officer, no problem, cool. And it was good. Because you see, police officers are like insurance. We don't want to pay it, we don't like it, but when something happened, we wish we had insurance. And when something happened, the first people you want to call is the police. I have no problem with them. Thank you, St. Martin. Take care of yourself. God bless you guys. Goodbye.
There was a time when people dare not utter a word. There was a time when people were in the dark and searching for accurate information. Just when all hope is lost and frustration hangs in the balance, XSM Talk emerges and broke the silence. Join host Christopher Emmanuel for live and serious discussions and hard talk.